The other thing is if we could see it coming, the stress is less. If we could anticipate, if we could put our periscope up or around the corner and see what's coming, what's potentially coming, we could prepare for it and the stress is always less. So here's an example of how we tend not to do it. This little example here is like a turntable. Okay, so someone's born up here at the top of this thing. And as soon as they're born, this thing starts moving, you know, 1 day at a time, 1 year at a time, and so on. And it basically moves through these stages of our life. So we start out as a helpless infant. You know, we're born bald, wrinkled, wearing a diaper, toothless, there we go. So that's every baby, right? And at some point, you know, we start walking, we become a preschooler, we're out of diapers, we're into playing with stuff, we don't have to, you know, we don't have to childproof everything anymore. We start going to school, the first day of school happens, you know, big trauma for the parents sometimes more than the kids. And school and so on, we turn into adolescence, you know, the dark periods of our life, of the life for parents, you know, where independence and hormones and dating and curfews and all this stuff comes up. And so on. You know, we make choices around career and education. We get married. We have families. We move away. We finally end up maybe retire. We have a couple of good years, and we're sitting in a senior's residence. And finally, we end up where we started. Bald, wrinkled, toothless, and in a diaper. Okay? And then it's over. I'm sorry to be so uplift. No. It'd be good if it went the other way around, eh? If you kind of started out old and you always looked forward to getting younger. Hey, I'll be able to walk soon. Hey, I'll be able to dance soon. Hey, I'll be able to go out with girls soon, you know. And then you end up going out in a orgasm or something, you know, birth, the moment of conception. Anyway, I'm now off topic, so let me get back to this thing. What we want to do is, we know as we go through life, in general, there are going to be milestones. There's going to be points where there's going to be critical challenges or changes. We know there's going to be a first day of school. We know there's going to be a time when your 13, 14, 15-year-old daughter is going to push back on a curfew. And a lot of this is, these things hit us as we go through it. So the idea of this little turntable is if you could see it coming and say, you know what, it's going to be the first week of work after the summertime, or it's going to be month end for the financial people. You know, here's some things I could expect that's going to happen to me. Let me anticipate it and try to, if I could anticipate it, it gives me the opportunity to rehearse what are my responses going to be. If I'm going into a difficult meeting with somebody, you know, this doesn't have to be growing old. This could be my week at work. You know, if I know this afternoon I got a meeting with this person who's really irritated me in a big way, how am I going to behave during that interview when he's at a meeting when he starts glaring at me? Am I going to glare back? I'm going to make a big drama out of it? Am I going to walk out of the room? Or am I going to say, I'm going to stay focused on the problem and not get drawn into the emotional side? If I had a camera running in my head, what do I see? How do I see myself behaving at this meeting? So if we could see it coming and rehearse, even briefly in our head, just run a little video camera, here's what I'm going to see myself doing, and then in 45 minutes from now, that's a form of control. Does this make sense? Little video previews, So here's a couple of things. One, I guess, anticipate the event, see it coming, plan your approach and strategy. How will I react? You know, again, those 5 points, what's going to be a good way to react? Rehearse your responses and reactions. Again, run a little camera in your head to see, here's what I see myself saying, here's what I don't see myself doing. Because if you run the video camera, you know what, it conditions your nerves up here, your brain cells, to sort of, it's almost like practicing it in real life. Go with the flow. There's going to be some stuff that's going to happen, you know, and maybe budget for the hassles. If you work for an organization and you're going to get 6 stupid memos a month from, I don't know, somebody, some person. Silly memos, silly things. They want to know how many blue-eyed Peruvians walked through the door last week on a Friday afternoon between 2 and 4. I don't know. I'm just making this up. And you're saying, rather than saying, oh, God, here we go again, just say, hey, I'm going to budget 10 stupid memos per month. I'm going to get 10 stupid requests per month, and it's the end of the month, I've only gotten 3. I'm under budget. Okay. Again, it's part of anticipating. So go with the flow and minimize the number of changes if possible. If we do too many things at once, we get sick. We know that. Even positive changes can have a bad effect on our body's health. So the whole idea here, I guess this is a long-winded way of saying, see it coming, the stress is always less. So for at work, what it means is kind of, oh, and there's a little exercise, again, you could do on your own time, of anticipating what challenges might be coming up for you in the future and how you might respond to it. Because if you actually work it out with pencil and paper, it works. It actually works. Trust me, because I've actually done this myself in my own miserable life. It works. So a couple of things is see it coming, you know, and that could be as simple as what are the trends happening out there? You know, what's happening with the legal profession? What are the trends? What am I reading in the paper? What are they reporting on the news? Where are things going with social policy out there in the real world? So, because again, learning about all this stuff, whether you're for your professional development or just for your personal self, is all going to help you anticipate and prepare. You know, so the more you read, the more you find out, the more you scan your scanner around and see what's going on, the better it's going to be. And of course, manage your reactions. Say, how am I behaving? I got to cool down here. I got to relax. Do some deep breathing. We're not going to lie on the floor today, by the way, and do deep breathing. But stopping and breathing slowly works. Okay, so let me tense down because I can't do problem solving when I'm freaking out. Okay, I can't think my way through when I'm freaking out. And I might even ask myself, is there any good that could come from this? I am stuck in traffic. I won't make the meeting. Could there possibly be something that might be a positive benefit to this? Even if it's, hey, I don't have to sit with that idiot for 2 hours at the meeting. And I probably won't get fired for not showing up. You know, so sometimes we have to think on the positive side.